All right, motherfuckers, I'm back. This is part 2, but I got to go back to part 1 because I forgot what the dude really said to me. I had it fucked up, and I have these word typos from time to time. I'll fix them, don't worry. So, the native dude, when we first got introduced, he was like, my homies call me so-and-so, but my enemies call me Ghost. You can call me Ghost. So that's really exactly how it went. Because I had to watch the video and I realized like I didn't say it how I was thinking it in my head. So that's really how it went, y'all. Is he looked at me and said, yeah, my enemies call me Ghost. You can call me Ghost. So that's why, like I said, y'all, I gave him a pass off the bat. Because those are just words of death right there, man. So I'm like, this motherfucker. Okay, so it progressed to, like I said, where he said, I'll kill you and your whole crew. And he reached behind his back for a pistol. Now, when he reached behind his back, I was 10 feet away from him. Right when he reached behind his back, I reached behind his back with him. I jumped on him, reached behind his back for his pistol. And that bitch ass motherfucker didn't have a pistol. He didn't have shit. So I had his arm pinned behind his back. And now he's screaming for his homies. Now, probably about a year earlier, I had fought like 5 of these tow truck cocksuckers, man. That's a whole nother story we'll get into later. And they fucked me up. It's like one of the only times in life that I really, really almost got beat to death. And I'm going to try and get the mugshot. It's going to come out of New Hope, Minnesota, the same place. Crystal, I'm sorry. It's like like I said, them word typos. They're right next to each other. It's Crystal, Minnesota is who's got that mugshot. Crystal, Minnesota was the cop that charged me with tax evasion. Officer Venezuela, where I was like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up and stop asking me questions. All right? So, back to the native dude. He reaches and I reach where he's reaching. He don't have shit. Now he's calling for his homies. And I'm like, well, I'm not finna get jumped again half to death. So, at that point, I reach for the blade that's in my pocket, which I picked up off my homie's dresser before we left. Really, I shouldn't have needed nothing like that because my hands are real vicious already. But honestly, I needed that night and I shouldn't have needed it, but I brought it and I needed it. So when you pick some shit up, just know, no matter what you think in your mind, dog, you're going to use it possibly on somebody, man. So he's calling for his homies. I pull the blade out. It's dark. He probably doesn't see it really coming. But right when I hit him, he screams like a bitch. I hit him like probably about 9 to 10 times from here all the way up to here. From like I started low and went all the way up his ribs. The knife was like, it was the thickness of about this, not as long, but it had this like curve to the end of it, almost like a pirate's dagger or something. It was ugly. But now, it might not really sound like it, but I was still playing with him. Because if I wanted to kill him, I'd have just buried the knife into him. Once, twice, dude, that shit would have finished him off, man. I was actually, in my opinion, still being fair and kind of nice. Even though I'm stabbing the shit out of you, I still feel like I'm being still nice to you because I'm not really trying to take your life at this point. I'm trying to wake you up. Now, the first exchange, punctured lung, I don't know what else. He's screaming like a bitch for his homies. And I'm like, oh shit, here they come. And I'm just waiting. Now remember, he said he had a pistol, reached for it, didn't have it. Now I'm just waiting for gunshots to go off. I told you we're back in the woods. So I hit him up and I disappear 10, 15 feet straight behind the tree into the darkness. And I'm waiting for sparks to start flying and shit to go down. And the craziest shit about it, everybody that was there, even my homies, they just stood there and looked at him. When he pulled his shirt up, he was all hit up. I couldn't really see it and didn't really even care. He was all hit the fuck up and their eyes were all wide lit up. But then when his homies came, they seen he was hit up and lit. Oh man, they just started whooping ass, yo. The natives just started whooping ass, yo. So I'm like, oh, now no gunshots are going off. Cause I'm getting that gun. If I hear a gun, I'm gonna get that gun. I'm in the darkness. I'm gonna get that gun. If somebody got a gun, I'm going for it. I'm not just running my rides there and shit, dog. Like, now I have one person I need to get up out of there with. Everybody else, now you're on your own. You're standing there watching this guy bleed. His homies come up. Now y'all are in it. Now they're just whooping on motherfuckers. Everybody's fighting. Now it turns into like a huge fight. But right when I hit him up with the blade, it started to pour rain. Like, honestly, on cue, it just started to rain on us all, man. Basically, like, stop it. In my opinion, at my age, I know that was God be like, man, stop it. But it wasn't enough. So it started to pour rain on everybody. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to find my ride. And I look up, and mind you, it's just a bonfire in the back of the woods. That's only light. I look up, I see the biggest motherfucker out of my crew down on his knees with like 5, 6 natives around him, just beating him like some shit out of a movie. He's like 6'3", benches 300 pounds. He's just getting beat down. Craziest shit. The native I stabbed up, punctured lung, drunk, was still fucking going. Y'all gotta understand, if you get a punctured lung, never had it happen, you run out of wind instantly. You can't really fight, which this comes into play because he did run out of wind. But I swear on my life, I hit him like 9 or 10 times, punctured his lung. He screamed like a bitch, yelled for his homies, but he didn't really go out like a bitch yet. So he did, but he didn't. So at this point, I don't really like telling these stories, you guys. It gives me PTSD, man. So I'm really giving you motherfuckers a lot, man. So this and I try and forget about a lot of this shit. Not that I can't deal with it. I can deal with it, man. But you just try, bro. There's so many stories. You know, you fuck around. You have to block shit out. Or you'll never be able to even. You won't have room for the shit you really need to store in your brain that you really need to function in this motherfucker, man. So this motherfucker, man, pulls all this shit, starts all this shit. It's all out war now. Hand-to-hand combat. I don't know if they had any knives or not. I did. Nobody with me really did. Nobody was really prepared for that shit, really, but me. And so I see this bonfire, and like then I just see like my boy just getting beat down, and I'm like, oh man, we're losing at this. I'm not, but everybody else was like really taking an L, man. I run up, I stab the big dude in the back like 3 or 4 times. Not very deep, because I liked him. We were cool. He tried to stop the shit. He was their big homie. He brought him out there. And one of the things that he said to me when I was like, hey, man, what's, you know, you can, you know, chill with this shit. Like, your guy's tripping, man. Like, he was like, you know what, man? You bring the little homies on a field trip and they act up. And we both just kind of laughed and shook hands. But it escalated to this, man. But he was cool. But there was another suspect move earlier in the night where motherfucker asked me for like a half pound of some weed or some crazy shit like that. Like, I don't even fucking know you. So you're on some bullshit right there, but nah, nigga, hit this weed, take this, like, just blew him off, spun him like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was already knowing, like, these guys are, but they weren't pushing that line too hard. But the one motherfucker who called himself Ghost, who almost got turned into a ghost, just kept starting shit. So now everybody's starting out. So I hit the big dude about 4 or 5 times in the back. I fall back into the darkness like a straight monster. Just a ghoul. I disappear back into the darkness. This motherfucker don't even react to this shit. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I come out, stab him about 3 or 4 more times. Now he's like, oh, fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Their adrenaline was kicking all that shit. So now he's hit about 5 to 7 times, about maybe 6, 7 times in the back. Not bad wounds. His boy's hit where he needs medical attention. So I'm like, I gotta find this motherfucker and get the fuck out of here, man. We're like 50, 100 feet back in the woods, man. I'm like, I gotta find one person. Everybody else done fucked up. They're on their own. Motherfuckers didn't jump when I did. You know what I'm saying? I hit dude up. Y'all motherfuckers just looked at it like, oh, fuck no. So I'm trying to find my boy, and I see a motherfucker hunched over trying to catch his breath, which there's a lot of people in chaos, but he was the only one like hunched over trying to catch his breath. I didn't know who it was. I'm just trying to find somebody, identify one person and grab him and get him up out of there. So he was bent over trying to catch his breath, and I was like, hey, you okay, homie? And he looked at me and was like, oh, here he is, y'all. Here he is. Now, mind, they all done retreated. And he can't retreat because he got that punctured lung. Anytime you puncture somebody's lung, they can live. It can be fatal, but I think it takes a while. But you're running out of wind, man, and you got problems. You're gonna need somebody to help you, man. And so one collapsed lung, you can probably deal with it, but 2 collapsed lungs, you're gonna be fucked up, man. That's what might kill you. So buddy, he's just a fucking problem the whole night, man. And this is just why, like, you just don't be involved with like parties and drinking and like kicking it and hanging out, because really I didn't have no intention. I was trying my best to not let this go there, man. You know what I'm saying? He just forced it, bro. Now he's leaking. Now he's screaming for his boys for the 2nd time. And I grab him by the shirt. Now, I might not add this detail. When I first stabbed him, I grabbed him first. I grabbed him by like the shirt and tightened it. Because if a person sees that you're going to stab them, they're going to run. They're not going to fucking stand there. I'm not going to stand there. Dude, I might turn my back, but I'm not dog, I'm not going to stand there and let you just stab me up. You know what I'm saying? Few people will. So, and like I said, it was dark, so he didn't see it coming. But I grabbed him, and I hit him up the first time, so he couldn't run. He'd have ran if I didn't grab him. He would have ran. So I hit him up. He got to screaming like a bitch. Didn't necessarily go out like one. Got his homies together. They mounted up like fucking Voltron or something. Actually started fucking people up. Fucked the biggest motherfucker up. Had that motherfucker down on his knees like it was like some biblical shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that shit? Fucking Game of Thrones type. Like this, they had him fucked up. And I'm like, oh man. So I got him up out of there. And as I'm still trying to find my ride,